The Disappearing Hitchhiker, Route 66, Arizona. Chapter 1. The Long Drive. The desert sun was just starting to dip below the horizon when Matt Turner turned his dusty old Chevy Impala onto the cracked winding path of Route 66. The road stretched endlessly ahead like a memory, a ribbon of asphalt carved through the heat-baked sands of Arizona. For miles, nothing stirred except the occasional tumbleweed and the low hum of cicadas. Matt was headed to California, trying to escape a life that had grown too heavy, broken engagement, dead-end job, and a town that reminded him of everything he lost. Route 66 seemed like the perfect detour to clear his mind. It had a nostalgic ring to it, stories of diners, motels, neon lights, but he hadn't seen much of that. Just empty land, as though even time had abandoned this stretch of the highway. As night crept in, the air turned cool, and the orange and purple hues of the sunset gave way to darkness. The road ahead looked more ghostly than romantic. That's when he saw her. A young woman stood by the roadside, her thumb stuck out and a small backpack slung over one shoulder. She was wearing a white dress flowing in the breeze, her hair dark and long, her figure slender but tired. There was something almost cinematic about her, like she had walked out of a black and white movie. Matt hesitated for a moment. He wasn't in the habit of picking up hitchhikers, especially not in the middle of nowhere, but something about her seemed desperate and familiar. He pulled over. "Need a ride?" he asked as he rolled down the window. The girl stepped closer. Her voice was soft and polite, but distant. "If you're headed west, yes." "Thank you," Matt unlocked the door. "Hop in." She slid into the passenger seat, carefully buckling her seatbelt. "I'm headed to Kingman," she said. "No problem." "I'm going that way." They drove in silence for a few minutes, the tires crunching against the uneven road, the headlights cutting through the dark like knives. "You from around here?" Matt asked finally. She looked out the window. "I used to be, a long time ago." Something in her voice sent a shiver down his spine. It wasn't what she said. It was how she said it. Detached, like she wasn't really there. "What's your name?" She turned toward him slowly. "Lena." "Nice to meet you, Lena. I'm Matt." She nodded faintly and returned her gaze to the window. Chapter 2. Vanishing Point. They drove on for miles, with only the sound of the engine and the whisper of wind filling the car. Matt couldn't help but glance at her from time to time. There was something ethereal about her, almost dreamlike. Her skin looked pale in the moonlight, and her expression remained frozen, as if she were haunted by a memory she couldn't escape. He offered her a bottle of water. She took it but never drank. Then something strange happened. One moment she was there, sitting quietly with her hands on her lap. The next, gone. Matt slammed on the brakes, his heart thudding. "Lena!" he shouted, turning toward the empty seat. Nothing, no sign of the door opening, no sound, just vanished. His hand trembled as he reached out and touched the seat. It was cold. He got out of the car, flashlight in hand, and scanned the barren desert. No footprints, no movement, just the eerie stillness of the Arizona night. "Lena!" he yelled again. No answer. Breathing heavily, Matt got back into the car, still trying to make sense of what happened. Did he imagine her? Hallucinate from fatigue? No. He had spoken to her, handed her water. The seatbelt was still buckled. He drove on, unsure if he was losing his mind. Chapter 3. The Old Diner. About an hour later, lights appeared in the distance. A neon sign flickered over an old, rusted diner with the words, "Desert Rose Cafe." Relieved, Matt pulled in and parked. The diner looked like it hadn't changed since the 1950s. Checkered floors, red vinyl booths, and a jukebox in the corner playing a slow blues tune. A waitress in her 50s looked up from behind the counter as he entered. "Evening, hun. What can I get you?" Matt sat down at the counter, still shaken. "Coffee, black, And, can I ask you something strange? The woman chuckled. You're on Route 66, sweetheart. Strange is normal. There was a girl, hitchhiker. Said her name was Lena. She said she was headed to Kingman. She just disappeared, right out of my car. The waitress's smile faded. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You said her name was Lena? Matt nodded. The waitress walked slowly to the end of the counter, pulled out a drawer, and returned with an old newspaper clipping. She laid it down in front of him. Matt picked it up. It was yellowed and faded. The headline read, Tragedy on Route 66. Local teen dies in car crash. Body never recovered. Below was a photo. Lena. That's her, Matt whispered. That's the girl. She's been seen by travelers for years, the waitress said quietly. Always hitchhiking, always disappy. Chapter 4. The Legend. The waitress, whose name was Carol, poured him another coffee. Lena Jameson. She was 17. Prom queen, sweet girl. Back in 1968, she got into a fight with her parents and ran off to meet her boyfriend. They say they were going to elope. He picked her up near the old iron bridge on Route 66. Matt listened, hanging on every word. But they never made it. Witnesses saw their car swerve off the road during a dust storm, right into a ravine. The boy's body was found. Hers wasn't. It said she was thrown from the car. They never located her remains. Matt felt a chill crawl up his spine. She's been trying to get home ever since, Carol continued. Some people say she doesn't know she's dead. Others think she's stuck in a loop, reliving that last journey. Has anyone ever helped her? Gotten her home? Matt asked. Carol shook her head. No one's ever made it that far. She always disappears before Kingman. Some say if you do take her all the way, something bad happens. Chapter 5. The Return Trip. Matt left the diner with more questions than answers, but one thing was clear. He needed to see this through. He had to try. He had seen her, spoken to her. There was something deeply human in her eyes, something unfinished. The next evening he drove the same stretch of Route 66, slowly this time, watching. And there she was. Same spot, same white dress, same backpack. He stopped the car. This time, his hands didn't tremble. You came back, she said softly. I said I'd take you to Kingman. She nodded and got in. They didn't speak much, but Matt noticed her lips twitch slightly when she looked at the stars, like she was remembering something happy. This time, she didn't vanish. They passed the spot she disappeared before. Then another mile, then 2. Kingman was coming into view. You're almost home, Matt said. But she shook her head. I never had a home. A silence fell. Then softly she asked, Do you believe in second chances? Matt glanced at her. Yeah, I'd like to. She smiled, tears in her eyes. Then thank you. The car hit a sudden pothole. He looked away for just a second, and she was gone. This time she didn't vanish into thin air. The door was slightly ajar. Her backpack remained on the seat, and in it, a photo of her and her boyfriend, young, smiling. On the back, in fading ink, were the words, One day, we'll make it home. Chapter 6. Aftermath. Matt stayed in Kingman for a few days. He visited the local cemetery, found a small plaque near the edge of town, in memory of Lena Jameson, 1951 to 1968. He left her photo there, along with a wildflower he picked from the roadside. When he finally continued his journey west, he glanced back at Route 66 one last time. She was gone, but something told him she wouldn't be hitchhiking anymore. Epilogue: A new traveler. Years passed. Route 66 remained, still cracked, still haunted by memories. One foggy night, another traveler drove down the same stretch, and on the side of the road stood a girl in a white dress. But when the headlights hit her, she turned and smiled, then slowly faded into the wind. Some say Lena still appears. not looking for a ride, but offering peace to those who need it. A ghost, yes, but no longer lost, just watching.